I am Wednesday, and my hobbies include long walks on the beach and drinking red wine spritzers before bed. No. But the topic this week is hobbies. I'm one of those people where, you know the phrase, jack of all trades, master of none? I feel like that very much applies to me, although even though I think that that could have sort of negative connotations in the sense that I'm multifaceted, but I don't have one thing that I excel greatly at over anything else, I think that that makes me a more well-rounded person in a sense, because I am capable of doing a wide variety of things, and I'm good at a wide variety of things. I'm just not great at any one thing. As far as me as a person and me looking back on my life, I'm very happy with the things that I've done and that I've tried and accomplished. And so I'm happy to be a jack of all trades. I'll take it. Essentially, all of my hobbies kind of center around the arts, and I don't really venture too terribly far away from them when it comes to things that I enjoy doing. I detest math, I detest science, and I detest anything that has to do with either of them. Unless, of course, it directly goes to benefit me, in which case I praise those who understand, grasp, and enjoy it much more than I do. I've always been a big reader. I've always read for fun. I've always read everything, all the way down to the backs of cereal boxes when there is nothing else to read. I credit my parents with that because they trained both me and my brother to read before we really got started in school particularly, so that was always a big part of my life. Consequently, I've also always been a big writer. I write a lot of stories, and I actually just recently finished a novel, which sounds very impressive, but it was really just a little project that I've been working on for the last 3.5 years maybe. And I finally finished it, and I'm sort of working on the second one, but it's not really, it's just a relaxing thing for me. I also write fan fiction when I need a break from my own characters, you could say. I also write a lot of essays. Now, granted, the essays are for school, but for the most part, I have fun writing the essays. I've never had a problem with that. It's not something I've ever struggled with particularly. I've taken a stab at writing poetry and writing song lyrics and things like that, but it's not really my forte. I'm better with prose. Aside from writing, I've recently gotten really into doing art. I do a lot of fan art. I've been focusing particularly recently on doing Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan art because it's a fandom that I've gotten back into in the last couple of months in a very hard way. Ever since I've had access to a digital camera, I've gotten really into photography, which is something that I think I got from my mom because she's always had a camera around and has always been taking pictures of us and of nature, and she's quite good at it, and I think I just sort of subconsciously must have absorbed the skill from her because I have definitely gotten into that and into photo manipulation and into, not Photoshop exactly, I've always sort of stuck to the basic programs, but I do like editing photos, and recently, because of this whole YouTube thing, I've gotten into making videos and editing videos, and that's another thing that I find is quite relaxing, and it's quite fun, and I can listen to music while I'm doing it, and that's always great to be able to incorporate music into whatever you're doing as well. Music is one that's a big one for me. I don't know if I could really call that a hobby because it's not something that I'm doing. I'm just kind of absorbing it because, as I said, I don't really write lyrics or poetry. I'm not poetically inclined in that sense. But I do very much enjoy listening to music. I love organizing my music on my iTunes account. And I love talking about music. I love pretty much everything to do with music except that I cannot make it myself. I think part of the reason why I really got into music at first was because my mom plays the violin, and she sort of encouraged me to join our school's orchestra, and I did, and so I've had 7 years on and off of violin training, and even though I haven't really done anything with that recently, I hope that when I go back to America, I'll be able to pick up my instrument and really get back into it, and I'm hoping also to eventually be able to transcribe some of my favorite songs into music that I could play on the violin. I think it's a beautiful instrument, and I think it has the potential to do a lot of really wonderful things, and also it's just a really cool skill to have, and I don't really want to lose it. I've been on debate teams before, I've been in acting before, I've given speeches before, and I've also entered and won several speech contests. So that's definitely something that's an interest of mine. Finally, I would say something that I do that I would consider a hobby is, and I'm really not sure exactly how to phrase this to make it sound less vapid than it is, but I really enjoy putting together outfits and going shopping. And even if it's not for me, I've always had a very deep love of clothing and fashion. Not to the point where I feel like I could design, but I do think that I have a pretty good eye for color and combo coordination and what looks good on other people. And since I've always had such a terrible time with my own body and my own body image, I've gone through a lot of different incarnations of fashion over the years. And I really hit my stride in high school because we had a uniform, and so you had to be more creative if you wanted to still be fashionable while dealing with that heinous thing. But despite how much I absolutely abhorred the uniform, I do think that it really helped me in terms of developing my own sense of style, which recently has gone very far away from what it used to be, which was more of a gothic, scene, dark look, to getting more into men's fashion and trying to figure out how to put together men's outfits, because that's an area of fashion that I'm still relatively new to. Girls' clothes, I know how they work, I know how they fit, I know what looks good on me, I know what looks good on other people. Boys' clothes I'm still getting used to, but I'm hoping that eventually I'll be good with that as well, and then I'll have a very wonderful little wardrobe going on. Those are my hobbies, essentially. And, you know, of course, there's the, watching TV shows and Tumblr and the interwebs, YouTube, that sort of thing. But that's, as I said again, that's not really something that's coming of me. It's of me. It's of others unto me. So I don't know if it's really very extraordinary, and it's certainly things that a lot of people do. That's me, and take care, stay safe, stay happy, and I'll catch you guys next Wednesday.